And it is time to get right to the point with a black and forth discussion.
That
With
is
me,
quite to the point, a black and forth conversation.
why do I say discussion?
Because I think it's discussion that's disgusting. I don't know, rhymes or something. I don't know. But I'm officially the person who is beholden to Boomer Jim. I'm Gen X Deontay.
Yep, good afternoon, Deontay. Here in Vegas is good morning to everybody here.
This is exciting.
This, yeah, the time difference makes it fun. He gets to sleep in. I have to get up early.
Well, unfortunately, I didn't have the opportunity to sleep in because I was so drowsy to the ceiling from last night. We were
Well,
partying.
whose fault is that?
Oh, it's so embarrassing. And speaking of which, Jim, I have something important I need to ask you. It's very, very important. I
I'm
don't
already married.
know. That's hilarious. But I was thinking because I was telling my significant other, the blonde bombshell, about the boudoir pictures we were talking about last night, and
Ah,
and then she told me because people know me as a great picture taker and things like that, and so for many years, and I never considered that, but I've always heard that. But whatever the case is, when I showed her the boudoir picture, she says, you can do that yourself. Why would you need to go and, whatever? And she just kept saying this over and over and over. And she said, you
uh
can't. She
huh.
said, all you got to do is invest in the camera and, get whatever, get a space and you can do this and do that. And because of the way you tell stories and how good you are with kids, you can also do kids photography and all these different things and how creative you are. And, some of the boudoir people, they put things into photo albums and things like that. And I can have my own niche where it's like, I can put together your story in like a photo book with words and all that. Whatever the case is, my question is, what do you think? But also, could you train me on the finer points of the camera works? I know nothing of ISO, aperture, or any of that kind of stuff. I just know how to, frame stuff well and make stuff look good in that way.
Okay, the composition and lighting is 90% of it by far. Just having that photographic eye. The technical side of it on shutter speed, aperture, and ISO. That's what's known as the exposure triangle, and that's simple. They each have got their use. Quite simply, shutter speed. That depends on whether you want to stop motion, freeze it in place, or have a bit of blur, like you're photographing a waterfall or river and want to show that the water is moving. The aperture controls your depth of field, whether or not your background is blurry, but the subject is sharp, or whether you want everything in focus from near to far, like in landscapes. And ISO, think of that as being your mic gain. Say you're in low light, but you want to have a small aperture so everything's in focus, and you need a fast shutter speed because you need to stop action. So a good example would be an indoor basketball game. You turn up the mic gain, you turn up the ISO. That introduces a little bit of noise to the picture, but today's software can get rid of that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be doing any of that. This would be, human subjects, and it would be like the intimate photographs for the boudoir stuff. And
Yeah,
I don't know what caliber of camera you need to have. I probably wouldn't use my 2012 EOS Canon. I would probably want to get something more, And I know people have all the attachments and all that. So I mean, hopefully you can tell me about that because I think
actually, that EOS Canon could probably do it depending on which one it is. For something like that, it's all about the lens. Once again, the lighting and the lens.
it's a Rebel
That's,
T3.
yeah, you could do it with that. I mean, that's enough to learn the basics on. Hell, your phone can do it. In fact, they've got apps out there now for the new phones that let you set aperture and shutter speed to a certain extent.
Interesting. We'll have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But now to the issue at hand. I know you say that you don't know the first thing about saying whatever, but I'm going to tell you that I have things to talk about with regard to the the very how can I put this? Um, the thing about those dogs and those animals that I was telling you about, the what do they call them? The emotional support dogs.
Right, right. Well, in my mind, well, Mark Twain had it right. The more I know people, the more I love my dogs.
That's hilarious. Well, I tell you what, man. That's kind of one of those things where it's like I think that people that have emotional support dogs, they are insufferable, and the reason why they're insufferable is because they want people to feel how they feel about their dogs or their animals or whatever kind of animal it is. And it's just like, can you imagine me inflicting, my stuff on people, that they probably won't go for? I mean, and these people, they're the emotional support dogs. They are like in public, and they are like letting them crawl all on other things that people have to touch at grocery stores and all that kind of stuff, and it's just not sanitary. And it's just like the emotional support dog thing. I get it, but don't expect other people to feel how you feel about that. It's humiliating.
Well, you know, I sort of feel that way about people's kids at grocery stores. I mean, most dogs I see at stores are well behaved. In fact, a lot of times they're up in the shopping cart, so they're not running around everywhere, or they're staying loyally by their master's side, or the owners are carrying them. No, the support dogs are much better behaved than kids. I've got no trouble whatsoever with them. And the biggest thing about somebody who has a pet with them, and they're not even wearing those jackets that say support animal. You know they're not registered support animals. It's just people's pets that they bring with them. Just just don't reach out and touch without asking first. That's
Yeah.
all.
I mean, look what that's what got Bill Cosby caught up. He reached out and touched and didn't ask first. But these like listen, and the blonde bombshell, she's actually she's actually watching us right now. What she said is some people truly need them, but the ones who just want them around make it bad for those who truly need them. And then she says true
Well,
support animals don't go anywhere but by the owner's side. And I would say that there's some real validity to
yes.
that. My whole thing is that people in general, with the way they are about animals, they are insufferable because they always want people to care about. I actually was selling insurance one time, and I went to a house of it was like three rednecks, like near Sharon, PA, and it was like a trailer park. And when I got there, there was a pit bull there, and the pit bull comes and greets me at the door, and I'm freaking out. I don't know this dog. It's a pit bull. So they say, "Oh, she likes you. Oh, yeah, you should feed her." And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to feed this dog, but I didn't want to be rude to people that I'm trying to sell insurance to. Next thing I know, I'm sitting on the couch. This dog crawls up to my. I'm freaking out because he's right by, Family Jewels and stuff. And plus, it's a pit bull. I don't know what he's going to do. So then
That is so normal.
so the owner gives me some treats. He says, feed him. So I'm like thinking to myself, are you kidding me? I took the treat and I threw it up into the air for the dog to catch it. And then the owner looks at me and says, "Oh, you don't like dogs, do you?" And I'm like, "Why?" He says, "Put it in his mouth." And I'm thinking to myself, you want me to put my hand, a hand that I'm going to need forever, in this vicious dog's mouth who I just met 4 minutes and 22 seconds ago and just be okay with it? And that's when I realized, yeah, this is a whole different animal, so to speak. And
Pit bulls get such a bad rap.
it's annoying. It's absolutely annoying.
No,
But going back to the emotional support dogs or animals, period, I don't understand why these people they seem to treat animals better than they treat children. Like that just seems bizarre to me. And to them, they are their children more than actual children are.
yeah, my dogs are more children to me than what my kids are or were at times.
And it's just I don't know. Make me understand this. What is it about this? This seems to be such a it used to just be like stereotypically a white thing. Now is becoming more people of chocolate color are becoming just like that. I don't understand this. It makes me want to move to France or something.
Well, I've never seen a racial divide on pets. There was the only thing. Yeah, the only thing I've ever heard along those lines is that pit bulls or dobies, or especially pit bulls, were more popular among blacks and whites. But pit bulls just get a bad reputation for no reason. A pit bull is one of the most loving dogs you can get, as you found out. They expect whoever sits on the couch. Okay, you're mine now.
You call that the most loving thing? No, the most loving thing is when my girlfriend pushes her bang back and she looks at me with her beautiful eyes, and then she kind of gives me that look that's like, you know what time it is. That to me is the most loving thing. But a pit
Well,
bull with vicious teeth is not necessarily what I think is a loving thing.
now any dog will look at you with that look, except that there's no expectations. It's just un. Uh, I can't even think of the word. It's just unconditional love and devotion as long as you treated them right.
Oh,
They they don't judge. They don't ask. They're they just want to be with you.
oh,
That's it.
spare me, Jim. You sound like a person running for president. This is humiliating. You are ridiculous right now.
I
Speaking of,
tell you that. I was going to say that's one thing about Trump that really bothered me. He's the first president that I can remember that didn't have a dog.
well, I think he's dog enough for everybody.
Well, I mean, he might be a son of a bitch, but I don't think that counts in this respect.
Listen, Trump is a genius, and maybe him not having a dog is proof of his genius. Let's be honest.
Oh, actually, if anything, it's him not having a dog is the only is probably a big reason to wonder whether or not he's a good person or not at heart.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But listen, the blonde bombshell says that pit bulls are more dangerous because of what they can do as far as when they lock their jaws up.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't make the pit bull itself an inherently dangerous animal. I mean, they're not mean, aggressive animals. They are loving and protective animals.
Spoken like a true animal lover who doesn't have any room for any other point of view.
Hey, I expect my kids to be the same way. I expect them to be loyal to family, to be protective of family. We all do. I mean, you want to protect your tribe.
Well, you know how sometimes human beings can flip on a dime and then they do something that was unexpected. Where it's like, oh, don't provoke them or whatever. Sometimes you ain't got to provoke them; they just do it because that's the human quality. So why can't an animal who cannot communicate verbally not be seen as the same thing? Animals can go from being traditionally loving to "Arr, arr, arr," and do all kinds of stuff. You have all types of situations where that has happened. So therefore, expecting me to just assume this thing that can't speak is going to be loving 100% of the time to someone doesn't even know, come on, man. You're fooling.
Well, if I had to bet on who's going to flip first, I think it'd be a human that goes bad first.
See, I like
Hell, we just had it back on what Wednesday here in Vegas. A guy doesn't he doesn't get hired. This professor, I mean, an intelligent person, the school doesn't hire him, so he gets mad and goes out and shoots three staff members who turned him down.
yeah, exactly. But it's not about who's going to flip first. It's about the fact that he's going to flip it all. But people portray animals as being, oh, the sweetest people, only because that's the viewpoint they want to have. Speaking of lousy viewpoints, bring up a video of Candace Owen because Candace Owen is a bigger nightmare than Freddy Krueger. Seriously,
Let's see what we
I don't know.
got.
Candace Owen, like she is a waste of a social security number. To be honest with you,
I have no idea what she's like. The last time I heard anything from her was like 3 years ago. But let's see what we can get.
yeah, her rhetoric is let's just say idiotic. And for anyone that follows her, it's just like, yeah, I would never want to play follow the leader with that person.
Okay, here's something. The first one that comes up:
All
the
right, play.
horrible reality of bottom surgery.
Okay, play that. Pull it up on the screen. We'll,
Okay,
we'll, we'll, we'll play a short snippet of it.
all right. Let me bring it up here. Present. Um Share screen. Share tab. There we go. Share. Um, we got it? Okay. Let me move that over to another off to the side. Here we go. There
Give
you go.
me how you're feeling the night before.
I thought that I was going to feel like a normal person for once.
You're excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
What's bottom surgery?
BBL. So that's when people get the Brazilian butt lift to make themselves look
Oh,
like Kim Kardashian or Nicki Minaj. In other words, aftermarket ass cheeks.
this is the promise that my family and I have been sold since I was a kid, is that we will make her into a real woman. She doesn't have to deal with what older trans people go through. She won't have to look in between. We will do it all young and it will be perfect.
oh,
Like,
okay.
I
We're
mean,
talking about transgender.
my mother and I to this day truly believed that up until recently.
So your mom's excited. You're
Yeah.
excited. You're thinking this is like an answered prayer.
Yeah.
Everything's going through. The insurance
Yeah.
has gone through, and you're going to come out and
Okay. Did I catch that right? Okay, she's talking about getting it herself, but she also did she just liken that to having a trans surgery at a young age to make it easier? Did
I don't.
did she just say that?
Well, anytime you get a BBL, you're transferring fat from one place to your butt, and so this is quite literally trans fat. Seriously, I mean, when you really think about it, it's literally trans fat. Listen, I have nothing against transgender people. I just want you to be clear about who you are. I don't want to sit here and high five you or dap you up and realize that you are wearing Maybelline on everything because then I'm going to feel stupid.
Yeah, yeah. That's a topic too we can get into, but
be a woman.
Yeah. I mean, they were ready. He made it seem like I would, and he also, and that's something I think we can get into further, is there's a lot of conflicting information within gender healthcare. One thing that I was told directly by the doctor, and the surgeon, Dr. Roth, had actually privately called my parents and had conversation with them, telling us both separately that it's best for me to do this as young as possible, so that way I recover better and I'll heal better and I'll look better.
Wow.
He had told my mother and stepdad that privately, and then he had also told me that in our appointment.
okay. Let's see,
You
see if
trusted
we
this
can get to where.
doctor.
Yeah.
Yep.
See if we
Why
get
wouldn't
somewhere.
Yeah.
These are the professionals.
Yeah.
Why would they want to harm you? Why would they want to put you at a risk for anything? They just want you to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, when's Candace
So
going to
what
say something
happens during the
controversial?
procedure?
The procedure was 7 hours, and immediately I woke up. I could not walk for the entire duration I was in the hospital. I had severe pain all over my body. I actually had an epidural in because of the pain.
Okay. Now that I got a little bit more context here, Candace is interviewing a trans woman. That's what we're talking about. So we got to hear Candace say something. So far, all she's done is ask some legitimate questions and not disagree. But knowing Candace Owens, you know she's going to have some judgment in here somewhere.
Exactly.
Let's see if we can find it.
Person,
No.
literally like it was a science class. Like he's, Dr. Frankenstein. And
Yeah.
just, look at this. Look what I've created.
Yeah.
That is so horrific. I mean, that is
Yeah.
truly.
That's see how
Yeah.
she let into that.
People just came in and it was like a science class.
Like you weren't a person.
No.
Literally like it was a science class. Like he's, Dr. Frankenstein. And
Yeah.
just, look at this. Look what I've created.
Yeah.
That is so horrific. I mean, that is
Yeah.
truly. Talk about not feeling like a person.
Hmm.
You're going into this because you
Yeah.
don't feel like a person.
Yeah.
And then you're realizing that you're a spectacle.
Yeah.
Look what I did.
Hmm.
That's horrible. That is so horrible. And you're in searing pain. You're in agony.
Yeah.
You're in an epidural.
Okay, we're this is leading into where people might are saying that Candace can be a piece of work. But what have you heard? There's a reason I wanted to bring it up. Like I said, I haven't listened to her for a couple of years at least. So I don't know what she's been saying lately is getting people really upset.
Yeah, I don't know either. The blonde bombshell told me something that she's been saying, and people have been sharing it all over TikTok. But the bottom line is that just her points of views. Listen, she's entitled to her own points of views, her own opinions, but not to her own facts. And sometimes she surmises things that just makes no sense. Candace Owens, like I said, she is. I think she's what's wrong with this country at a large scale, because she is like, I guess what they used to say is she's like a house nigger. You know, that's what she is. She's a house nigger, and she is like the female version of an Uncle Tom in so many ways. She wants so badly to identify with conservatives that she will throw her own people under the bus, and it's not the bus to freedom either. You know.
Now, hang on a second here. I can see that you would say the same thing possibly about the representative out of South Carolina who is running for president. Can't remember his name at the moment.
That's my whole point. That these people, they should have their Negro card revoked, because Candace Owen is just perpetuating what the rhetoric that originates in conservative mindsets. That
Oh,
guys and all that other nonsense.
so it's wrong for blacks to be conservative, huh?
It's not that it's wrong, but when the way they come off like they are anti-black. Not
Well, you're starting to sound like the exact type of person that LBJ wanted to produce when he got the Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act passed back in '64 and '65. He famously said, "If I can pass these acts, I'll have those blacks voting Democrat for 200 years."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
In other words, you're saying that you can be bought really easily.
I'm saying that some people can be bought, and Candace Owens to me sounds like she's been bought.
It sounds like if like others have been bought too by the Democrats, and of course, well, they've been doing that since back in the 17, 1800s anyway, so that's nothing new.
I just think Candace is more transracial. How about that? She's transracial. You know, everyone else is changing their gender. She's changing her race, but she wants to still appear like a black woman. But the things that she says, all it ends up doing is dragging down black people.
That I'll give you. That I will give you.
The minute that you start sounding like you're Tucker Carlson or Bill O'Reilly or someone like that, the minute you start sounding like that and you're black, the minute that white people feel like, yeah, we told those colored people. Now listen, they even got one of their own talking like that. You know how I know? Because think about when Tucker Carlson interviewed Kanye West a few months ago, and he was loving every word that Kanye West said. But when LeBron James a few years ago spoke out against something Donald Trump said, then that Laura Ingraham, I think her name was, she said,
Yeah.
just shut up and dribble. So it's shut up and dribble when he's saying something that appeals to the more liberal people. But when he's saying something that is, if he said, you know what, I believe in everything Donald Trump says, and I believe that the South will rise again, they would have been like, LeBron, you teach your people. You teach them. It would have never been shut up and dribble. Candace Owens, the reason why she's so accepted over at Fox News is because she's the same type of person as their people. Tucker Carlson and all these people, she's the same exact type of person. If she was saying something different, then all of a sudden they're going to be like, who cares about your views? Think about it.
I don't know about that. I mean, wasn't it Joe Biden himself that once described Obama as he's an articulate black man?
Yeah, an articulate black man. And it's like we go back to that famous.
As if that was a surprise.
It goes back to this stand-up comedy show that Chris Rock did, I think way back in 1996, where he was talking about how everyone spoke about Colin Powell when Colin Powell was running back in 96. He said that people would always say, oh, look at that Colin Powell. He speaks so well. He speaks so well. And Chris Rock said, well, what the hell do you guys expect him to be? Retarded? Because you won't hear anybody say, this white man speaks so well. I never heard anybody say, hey, you know what? Bill Clinton speaks so well, because it's automatically assumed that when you're white, you're going to speak well. I mean,
Now,
but Obama, oh, look at how articulate he is. Oh, people say that to me. They say, oh, you talk like a white guy. You speak so. I'm like, really? What are you really saying? What the?
I have to take a phone call. It's my wife.
Okay, listen.
Yeah.
Jim is a Sir Mix-a-Lot fan. Jim is a closet.
Hon, I can't do it right now. I'm still
Sister
going.
lover.
We're still on air.
He is a closet sister lover.
I'll call you back in a bit.
Sometimes he straddles the fence of cross burning and also being a sister
All
lover.
right, so,
He looks like a DJ right about now. How he's got his headphone. Look at that. Wow. I can't believe your ringtone is Sir Mix-a-Lot.
yeah,
Jim, you are an honorary Negro. You will be getting your food stamps in 2 to 4 weeks.
hey, I can use them right now. I'm on Social Security nowadays.
As a matter of fact, I'm going to send you some hair grease too.
Well, I still have some hair to put it in.
Oh, you do. It's all right here, man.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to call her back, and we're overtime already. So
Who was that?
that was my wife, is Valerie.
You're married? All this time
Yeah,
I've been flirting for no reason?
that's right.
Oh, Jim, you're breaking my heart. Well, I guess the Blonde Bombshell has to welcome me back with open arms.
Ah, the poor girl. Give her my condolences.
Oh, that's embarrassing. Well, you know what? That was the 5th cigarette you fired up, and you know what? You're doing good today because last week it was 12.
Yeah, it's only been 25 minutes. Okay, like I said, John, let's wrap this one up. At least stay under a half hour this time.
Yeah, let's put a condom on this one.
All right. Everyone, thank you for watching. Be sure to find us on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe. And hit the bell so that you get notified when it's over on YouTube. I know a number of you are here on Facebook, so help us out.
And this is for Jim's retirement fund.
Yeah, we're out of here.